Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Well, good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Justine Stewart.
And I'm Lewis Dortch. Hopefully you're having a good start to the Friday, and congratulations, we made it to the end of the week.
Right, yeah, congratulations. It was a long week to get through. We had lots of fire activity, hot weather, and I mean, probably more in store for the weekend. Yeah, I mean,
I wish I had something new to tell you. I come in, I wish I had something different, some good news to bring in, but it's just bad news. That's all I have. It's warm. It's going to be warm today. We're going to say hot for the weekend. Next week, it's going to be hot all next week as well, with highs in the middle and upper 90s. So just no relief in sight. Temperatures this morning remaining mild out there. 63 in the capital, 56 in Missoula, 49 in Butte. We're at 50 in Kalispell, 59 in Cut Bank, 59 degrees in Great Falls. So here's our headlines for the week ahead. Dry weather continues with very little chances of rain all through next week. We saw some rain, little bit of rain yesterday in areas, and that looks like it's going to be about it. Heating up, upper 80s to middle 90s this weekend, and I just feel like a broken record, but next week, sunny skies, temperatures in the middle and upper 90s.
Protesters show up in force in Helena to object the potential of huge budget cuts to Medicaid and other mental health services in Montana. One Missoula home care worker says Montana failed her patient who died after being forced to find care out of state. Others say it will be harder to hire and retain workers. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, the Bullock administration says their hands are tied.
State revenue missed a key target last month. And according to a law signed by the governor in May, that means a series of budget cuts must occur. Among them is a proposed 3.5% cut in rates paid to those providing services for the poor and disabled under Medicaid for mental health, assisted living, nursing homes, and other programs. An operator of an assisted living center in Churchill said the cutbacks mean the money won't be there to keep a 94-year-old and a 97-year-old in her facility.
Because of the Medicaid rates and the cuts in Medicaid, my hands are tied. I am going to be forced to move these two beautiful people out of their home at those ages. That is absurd. It's ridiculous.
Another operator from Polson said the rate cuts mean it will be even harder to hire and retain workers at assisted living homes.
How can you convince someone to come and do the dirty work that's required to care for the elderly in our state when they can make more money at a Starbucks? How do I do that?
Other in-home care businesses said Montanans who need care sometimes end up getting sent out of state because providers here can't afford to offer needed services. Janessa Hendon of Consumer Direct Care told of an injured logger who had to be moved last week to a nursing home in Washington State after 14 years of home care in Montana.
He died Thursday afternoon alone, away from home and out of state, because we failed him. Together, the state and the providers failed him because we can't come to a sensible solution on these rate cuts.
Bullock administration officials say their hands are tied because laws passed by the legislature dictate $26 million in cuts in Medicaid rates this year and next. But many of those who testified said Bullock has consistently undervalued or ignored local providers of care for the poor and disabled. They noted that people working at state institutions like the State Mental Hospital in Warm Springs aren't seeing any big cuts and are getting a small raise as well. Under the law, the Bullock administration may not have many other options to cut the human service budget. But for the people who testified here today, they clearly want the governor to look elsewhere to absorb the pain. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The Bullock administration says it hopes to decide on the nature of the cuts later this summer. Well, it wasn't a forest fire, but crews attacked it like it was. It was so dry in Montana right now, it doesn't take much to turn a small fire into something big and dangerous. In Arlee, a fast-moving fire destroys 500 salvage cars and pumps toxic smoke into the Mission Valley air. The response was epic. Crews from all over the Mission Valley, even Frenchtown, joined in with tribal firefighters to fight that fire crew and to throw everything they had into fighting this one, including using helicopters to dump water and retardant over and over again to keep that fire from spreading. The fire at Kelly's Auto Salvage in Arlee pumped a huge plume of black smoke into the air. Fire crews responded around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. That grass fire started on a neighboring property but quickly spread into the salvage yard. We spoke with the owner, who lost at least 500 cars in that fire. Many were left smoldering shells. No one was hurt, thankfully, but the danger now is that toxic smoke. A neighbor who lives right next to the business grabbed a hose to protect his own property and says that fire moved fast.
Oh yes, the fires would sound like firecrackers and tin cans, just exploding everywhere.
The worst problem we have is air quality is horrible. For breathing, the tires are burning, fuel is burning, the paint on the cars, everything in this whole yard is toxic.
Fire crews stayed overnight to get out all the hot spots, which could take some time into the morning. They also believe they now know where that fire started and are investigating how it started. The Lolo Peak fire has more than doubled in size, as you can see in this time lapse, created a large plume of smoke. The blaze has now burned 2,900 acres. More than 1,300 acres of that was added Wednesday alone. Fire activity increased thanks to running crown fires that pushed that fire up Falls Creek Canyon east towards Lolo Peak. Fire managers say that by late evening, the fire had spotted west of Meadow Creek, crossing South Fork, Lolo Creek, and Canyon, and burned to the top of that ridge. While Highway 12 remains open to traffic west of Lolo, drivers do need to be aware of increased fire traffic on the road and are being asked to obey posted speed limits. Firefighters continue to battle the Sunrise fire burning southeast of Superior amid evacuations at Sunrise Creek and Quartz Creek. MTN's Eric Clemens spoke to crews about the challenges they face in the lower Clark Fork Valley.
This fire, Sunrise Fire, is packed with challenges. So we've got historically dry conditions coupled with super rocky, steep, really challenging and inaccessible areas. Creates a situation where we have a really dangerous situation for our firefighters and for the public.
Despite those challenges, roughly 400 men and women are taking on this nearly 4,000-acre blaze. Crews say they're doing what they can to mitigate any danger.
Can't mitigate everything, so we have eyes on the ground, we have lookouts, keeping an eye on what's happening, and when it gets too dangerous, we disengage our troops, and we also move people out, and that's what we did when we had to pull a stage 3 with the sheriff.
Homeowners are taking this evacuation notice very seriously. They're leaving their homes in droves, taking with them RVs, campers, and tractor trailers loaded with possessions they don't want to lose. Firefighters are doing their best to ensure none of these homes burn up, but they're not leaving anything to chance. Before evacuations are requested, crews ask themselves how quickly could a fire be stopped if it moves in near homes.
And if we can't stop it quickly, that's when that threshold is crossed, and we start moving people out as quickly as we can.
Those not currently under evacuation are encouraged to be proactive and help ensure their properties remain safe.
Keeping things green, water, remove all the combustible materials around their place. You know, that helps us out a bunch.
Near Superior, Eric Clements, MTN News.
For the very latest Fire Watch news, including in-depth details on every fire burning in Montana, as well as fire weather forecasts, download the KPAX mobile app, download your free app in the App Store, or get it on Google Play. Just search KPAX. All right, time to send on over to Louis Dorchtown this morning for your forecast.
All right, thank you, Justine. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Let's take a look outside in Polson at our St. Joseph Medical Center ICAM. Nice start to the day there in Polson. We are going to see those hazy conditions, though, once again, especially during the morning and into the afternoon time. We have that air quality not very good. You have to factor in those fires, how dry it is, and how hot it's going to be. So, you know, take it easy. If you do have to go outside, drink plenty of water. Make sure you stay hydrated and stay cool. How about this beautiful picture sent in to us yesterday? This was in Victor, Montana. Fantastic picture of the mountains here. We've been so busy that since I moved here, I haven't had time to make my way into the mountains. So I want to do that here soon. Beautiful day yesterday. Cindy, thank you so much for this picture. Quick look outside at some of the temperatures we're seeing. 56 in Missoula, 57 in Polson, 50 in Kalispell, 50 in Sula. We're at 49 in Butte, 53 in Bozeman, 63 in the capital. So temperatures not too bad. Pretty mild this morning. So here's the trend for the next couple days, and it's going to be hot. Now, keep in mind, Missoula's average high temperature is about 88 degrees. I was just looking at the temperatures for July so far. Do you know in July we've only had 4 days that have not been in the 90s? That was July 10th, 11th, 17th, and 21. And one of those days was 89 degrees. So only 4 days where we haven't seen temperatures in the 90s, and it looks like that's going to continue all the way for the month of July with highs in the 90s. And where our jet stream is way to the north, we're going to see only 4 days in July where we didn't hit at least 90 degrees. So here's today, Friday. Here's the hot weather. You see where the jet stream is way to the north of us, allowing that warmer air to build in from the south. And the jet stream just continues to build further and further north. So by Monday, it's way up here. We're still getting those temperatures up into the 80s and middle 90s by Monday. And then it even looks like the end of next week. Watch what it does. This big ridge of high pressure sends the jet streams way up into Canada. This allows those temperatures. We could hit some triple digits as we roll into next week. So unfortunately, it's been hot all this month, and it is going to continue to stay hot and dry. How about the 7-day forecast from Missoula? 92 on today, 95 tomorrow, 96 Sunday, 97 on Monday, and we're going to keep those temperatures in the middle and upper 90s. Sunny skies all throughout next week. It looks like Tuesday right now is going to be the hottest day, 98 degrees.
Oh man, I can't wait for the day that forecast changes.
I can't wait till you can throw some 70s in there, right? Some 70s. We'd even, some 70s. We'd even take some 80s with a little bit of rain, huh?
Yes,
one of those days we'll get that.
All right, well thanks, Lewis, and stick around. We'll be right back, but first here's some birthdays this morning.